Now today we'll be diving into the thumb fan, so if you're wanting to learn how this move works, which looks like this, absolutely gorgeous, then make sure to stick around for this tutorial right now. So subscribe and ring the bell so you can be notified when I put out a tutorial every single Sunday. It's crazy. Every single Sunday is either a magic or cardistry tutorial. So you are in the right place if you are wanting magic and cardistry and playing cards and the giveaways and all the works. This is the channel for you. Plus, if you're wanting this deck of cards right here, you can get it for 10% off in the description with code cardperfectmagician. Now let's get into this video right now. So first, let's work on your actual grip for this absolutely gorgeous move, right? So for your left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, my right hand is the one to do my card springs with. My left hand is the one I normally hold it in. If I'm going to be holding it in mechanics grip, this is the hand I'm going to do it in. So the hand that is normally sitting in is the hand you're going to want to do to put it in for this part. So I have it right here, and what I'm going to do with it is I'm actually going to put it here. I'm going to want to put these three fingers here flat lined like this, and my thumb on the other side. My pinky is basically just going to get out of the way for this point. Now, the main pivot point is between my thumb and ring finger when I do this move, like this. So you can see that I can literally release all other fingers besides my thumb and ring, and it still works fantastic. So I can literally do it just those fingers, and it looks great, right? So it's mainly the thumb and the ring. Now, when you're doing this move, it's going to be a little bit off to the left when you're doing it. So instead of having it straight up and down, in contrast, like having a 90-degree angle here, you're going to have it all the way until it basically hits this inside pad of your hand. So when I have it here like this, I'm going to move it all the way over here, and then I'm going to do the move. So now your right hand, when it comes over, is going to hold it in a kind of a weird grip. It's going to look like this. So your thumb is going to be on the top left, index on the top, your other three fingers are going to go down the other long edge. Now once you have it here, you're going to place your thumb and ring finger either in the middle, the left, the right, depending on how you want it, changes how the fan looks. And I'll get into that in a second. Now normally when I do it, I put it about the bottom center. Now I'm going to shift over with my hand until the deck hits here, and then you're going to rotate your thumb around the deck, and it will give you this nice fan. Now sometimes I've seen people not get it quite right and it doesn't go as far as they want it to, or they get all the cards and there's still a big clump here at the end. And let's get through a little bit of troubleshooting before I get into how the different fans look. So what I like to do first when it comes to troubleshooting is I like to push over this bottom edge. So for me, it's the bottom left. I actually push it off and bevel the cards. Beveling is when you go from here to here. It just bevels the cards like this. So what I'm doing is I'm going to bevel this bottom left edge, which is going to look like that. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me a bigger fan. Now then when it comes to placement, my ring finger is almost going to be on this bottom left corner, and my thumb is going to be on this bottom left corner. So you go from corner to corner like this, and it gives you a bigger fan, which is what you want. Well, at least that's what I want. If you don't like big fans, I guess that's on you. So now when it comes to placement and how you're going to change the actual control of this, if you put it on the bottom left corner, you're going to get a fan that looks like this, with a lot of the top of the deck in the fan, right? So this is the top of the playing cards here. You're going to get a lot of that inner fan. Now if you go for the other corner, you're going to have a lot of outer fan and barely any inner fan, right? So you actually get some outer fan. This is actually beyond the cards right here, right? So this is the normal back. This is actually a part of the outside. So you get a lot of outer fans. So that's why I like to take a nice middle ground, bevel it a little bit, that you get that nice little line here. Put my thumb and ring finger on the two corners, which are actually opposite each other at this point. Give it a nice fan. You get a little bit of inner fan, and then the outer fan is right there on the hinges. So if you actually look at it from this side, you get just a slight bit of outer fan on this, and right there it's perfect. Now if you get a perfect fan, for me and my favorite is when you get that perfect mix of both and you get no outer fan. But currently still working on getting no outer fan and trying to figure out the specifics of where I like when it comes to that. So this would be an example of a perfect outer fan. So there's barely anything up here, and over here, that's gorgeous. You get really nothing. Now if you don't bevel it, it'll actually be more perfect, but personally I just like to bevel it, though I feel like it gives it a more full look. Now I do it a little bit differently when it comes to my fanning. I don't do a thumb fan, okay? I do an index finger fan. I use my index to move it around instead of my thumb. It feels more natural because normally I have my hand sitting here anyways when I'm coming across to pick up the deck. This is how I normally do it. So if I'm in a swing cut and I'm already here in this position, I might as well not have to shift over to my thumb. It feels unnatural. So what I like to do is, since my hand is already here, I just move it over and use my index finger to shift the cards that I can fan them just like that. Now, outside of that, there are a few other things you might want to know when it comes to fanning. The first one is closing the deck. So now you've fanned the deck. You finally got it. It's taken practice. Make sure you're using newer cards because older cards clump too easily. Get out a new deck. It makes it way easier to be able to do this, obviously. But you get a new deck and now you're here. How do you close it? Now, there's a few ways you can do it. First of all, you can just take it and use your hand and close it like this. So let's say you're here. You fan it. Now you're going to take either your index finger, middle finger, or your whole hand, however you want to do it. I usually just take my index finger or index and middle and ring, and you're going to come over and swipe over and keep making sure you have that pivot point. And it'll literally just rotate around and you can close it and you're already set back up into the position you need right here in Mechanics Grip to do whatever you're wanting to do. Now the way I like to do it is it closes itself, and that looks like this. And it looks super smooth. The deck seemingly closes itself. So once you're here, it just closes itself, and it's beautiful. So if you guys would like me to do a tutorial on that, I'll do a very brief one here. I plan on doing a tutorial on that at some point. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be pushing your ring finger forward, or your middle finger forward, sorry. Middle finger is going to go forward, and your ring finger is going to come back. So at the same time, this one's going to be going forward, ring is going to pull back, and that should close the deck. Now I'll go more in depth on that if you guys want me to do a tutorial on it, and if not, then so be it, and I won't do a tutorial on that part of the move. And of course you can do this with your other hand as well. Most decks though are suited to have it in the left hand and then fan it out from there. You can as well fan it from this side, but most decks are not meant for fanning from this, so it still does look good, but when you're talking about cardistry decks, they're probably meant for one way and not the other. So if you're talking about School of Cardistry V4 or many other decks, they're mostly meant for this. You do have some like the Virtuoso playing cards which can be fanned both ways and still look great. Now if you're wanting to do something a little bit extra and go for a double fan or a giant fan or a Pharaoh fan, goes by many names, first you'll do a Pharaoh shuffle, which looks like that, and then you'll do this right here. Give it a big old fan and it looks like that. So absolutely gorgeous, and I do have a tutorial on that move, and I'll leave that link in the description below so you guys can check out the double fan. And if you're wanting to learn the one-handed fan, I do teach this bad boy as well. So super fun move. You can get the big old S shape, which a lot of people use for their photos, which I don't know why, because a little bit cliche for using for photos at this point, but you know, I guess you can do you. So if you're wanting to learn either of those moves or any other things I've done with fans, like if you're wanting to learn a move like this, that includes the fan, right? So there's tons of moves that include so many different fans, different color changes, many things you can learn with fanning playing cards. And I'll leave that entire playlist down in the description below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect, signing off.